Okay, Lajuan, what's the deal?
Everything. I'm feeling good, looking good. I'm blessed. What's going on?
So that's it's good to hear, man. We glad we can get you on the Timeline podcast.
I'm happy to be here because we had some discrepancies. It took a
Yeah,
minute to get to this point.
man. I feel like it always happen like that, but when it get done, like it's always the right time.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's start it off with where you from and what was your childhood like growing up?
I am a Bronx baby. I'm from 6 Mile and YO, West Side. I say that all the time. I don't rock with the East. No offense to y'all if y'all from the East Side. It's love. But hold on, wait, I can't
You
say
can't
that.
say you don't rock with
I
it,
can't
then
say I
say
don't
it's
rock
no
with the East because
offense.
I be around so many. I be around so many East Siders and I love them all, so I can't
They gonna
even
be
say that.
texting you after they see this.
Yeah, they gonna be on my head like you shady. But yeah, I'm from 6 Mile in Wyoming. My childhood was pretty like it was kind of it wasn't too crazy. It was real basic in my mind. I had an older brother, so I always hung around like his friends for the most part, if he allowed me to. And then eventually, I stayed in a big house with all my first cousins, which was like mostly women. So it was like living in sorority. And surprisingly enough, I went to the same school Aaliyah went to, which is Jesus, a private school on 6 Mile. So yeah, that was like my childhood really. I got two step siblings. People never like they don't know that. So in all, I have two brothers and a little sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you had a lot of family around you growing up.
Oh yeah. I would say at one point it was like 15 or 16 of us living in one house.
And how
Yeah.
how was that? Like, was it like fights every day? Was y'all cool?
It wasn't fights every day, but we definitely fought each other. Like that's just how I go. You got all these personalities in one room, so we definitely fought each other. It was definitely arguments. It was days where we was all getting along. Like we used to go in the basement and dance in front of the TV. Like we used to have like dance parties. So that was lit. But for the most part, it was my first cousins, my uncle, my aunt had stayed here before. It was my great grandma. No, it was my great grandma, my grandma, and it's my mom. So it was a lot of people. It was a lot of people.
Hmm.
A lot of
Okay.
vibes.
Okay. And you feel like that? You feel like the family vibes really shaped you?
Um, I don't know. Cause like most families, we had like our ups and downs. So I can't necessarily. I don't know if it's shaped me for good or for bad. Cause since we all were in one household, we all had different parents. But my mom was the head of the household, so it was like I don't know. I don't know what it would have shaped me into. It probably had something to do with my personality today, but I can't really tell.
I feel that. Okay. So when did you decide you wanted to get into music?
In like 2018, I think is when I started, and that came about from like doing a contest with OK Jones. So like you got to know this story too because I repeat it all the time.
Yeah.
But OK Jones did like a Instagram, like how people be like rap this verse and you win the challenge.
Yeah.
It was one of those, and like it wasn't even that many girls who like joined the challenge, but I won. I feel like it was by default, but whatever. It was still sweet. And after that, he came to me, he told me like come record Whoopie Whoop. I came to the studio and a dude walked in there. He was like, "Let me manage you." I'm looking at him like, not finna manage me. But I was like, okay, well, what do I have to lose? He telling me he knows stuff. He can really get me in the right rooms. And it was like, okay, either I'm gonna still be the same person I am today, or I'm gonna elevate from speaking to you. So what the heck? Tried it, and he was really like pulling some strings, and I was like, dang. So it just went from there, really. And then I was kind of like, everybody be wanting a little juicy tea. I was in a situation and he raps and like we used to have these like friction where he would basically kind of try to stun on me. I don't know if you ever had somebody that tried to stun on you, but when I realized I could rap, it was like, oh yeah, now I'm about to talk my and I'm low key better for real. He gonna see this probably. I don't care. I'm better. Flat out, rap harder.
Okay, but even like you said, you started with the contest. Like
Yeah.
it takes somebody having a certain amount of confidence at first to even join the contest. So like, what do you think made you just go and do it?
I don't really be caring what people think. I'm pretty like, well, it depends on who you are getting a perspective of me, but I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
outgoing and I'm very like straightforward. I'm very blunt. I really don't care what nobody think about me. So it is what it is. Like you see, I'm over here with I think I got like 3 broken nails right now. And I'm still drinking wine. I'm still on this camera and I need to fill in. So it is what it is. We human. I never fear being judged by nobody. I'm
Mm.
gonna get out here and take risks and live my life. I don't live for other people, I live for me. So that's really what it is.
Okay. So, like, you said he was pulling strings. When did you
Yeah.
get to the point where you was like actually about to record and drop your first song?
Um, dang, that's a good question. I don't really remember. Honestly, like I was always kind of just like randomly in the studio.
Mm.
Like for a minute, he actually plugged me with Premier Artist Music, which is on Hilltop. I don't know if they still like going right now, but Donnie was over it. And Donnie's like real popular in the city. He's like real known for artist management and artist development. But I was just like in the studio. So I just randomly end up recording, or people would like have me in the studio with them and they'd be like, "Can you hop on this track?" And I just be like, oh, okay. I never had like structure behind it where it was like, oh, I'm about to book a studio session today.
Mm.
It was never that.
So it was like all of your first times recording mostly features?
Yes. Like just homies or like being in the studio. Like somebody had me come to their session
Mm-hmm.
and I think I'm about to chill and really they got it in their mind like, hey, about to hop on here. And I'd be like, what? So yeah, it was like mostly features.
Okay. So what got you to the point where you decided like, yeah, I want to start like really pushing myself and putting my own projects out?
Everybody kept telling me I was hard. And I was like, you know what? I am kind of sweet. Because sometimes as an artist, you have to listen to your music outside of your body, like as if you're a stranger listening to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be sitting back and I'd be like, this is kind of sweet. Like, granted, I was trash for real. Because when I listened back on my music, it was like, girl, this was not all that. But I was above average. So that's what made me keep going.
What type of reactions were you getting from other people with those first songs?
Um,
The ones that you saying like you listen to now and you say it wasn't all that.
she talking crazy. She be talking crazy. Did y'all hear what she said? Run that back. So when I would get that, and granted, I was kind of getting like some of the girls that'd be like, oh, she hard, da, da, da. But I feel like when you can get the dudes to say, oh yeah, she hard, because it's a male dominated industry for one.
Mm-hmm.
And for two, y'all are like our biggest critics because we can't say nothing, we can't talk too much about our bodies or nothing like that without the dudes being like, no, we don't want to hear that. And we can't talk too street because if we talk too street, y'all gonna be like, she ain't busting no guns. So it's like, what can we say? So for people to be telling me like, yeah, you better than the average, you really got something to talk about this, that, and third, yeah, that was definitely gassing me up.
Feel that. Okay, so the first time I really heard your music was Renni Rucci.
Mm-hmm.
And when was you putting that together? Was that a freestyle? How was that? How did that come together?
That was real like random. And I didn't even expect people to like the song how they like was rocking with it because for one, I was angry when I wrote it. Somebody pissed me off. I think it was a dude that I was talking to. I don't know who. I don't know what it was. It could have been life, but I know I was mad the day that I wrote it. And I used to go down to Belle Isle and like at that time I was smoking. I used to like I would drive to Belle Isle, spark up, and like I either be writing a song or I just go down there to like clear my mind. And I came up with that. So shout out to whoever pissed me off that day. I could probably go back in my notes and find out, but yeah, it was just anger and a beat. And you know it was unintentional because of what I named it. I named it after an artist. If I was being intentional with that, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't have used that name because in the industry for real, that's like a bad idea. Like my Instagram got deleted and everything, and I low key felt like that was a part of why my Instagram got deleted because they told me I was pretending to be someone else.
Damn.
Right. So.
Yeah, I do remember it. Like I didn't even really know who she was until like it was a bunch of comments. Like people thought you was her. it was a lot of stuff going on, and then but your Instagram was going up.
Man, what? I went from 8,000 to 17,000 followers in like a month. Like literally a month. That's crazy. Granted, shout out to Coetica Eyeball because they had a lot to do with that boost, as well as Auntie House, because it wouldn't have been no Coetica without Auntie House. So I appreciate them so much, but that really helped my platform a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say, even after your page was gone, that video was still
circulating.
Going crazy. It's like every time I seen it, it had another 100,000 views.
Literally, I've been getting like people DMing me with like the sponsorship or the ads. Like, I see you. So that's hard. Like, I really watch with that. I always wanted to be a Gerber baby. So, I mean, this is kind of the more hood way of getting on, but close enough.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't nobody know the Gerber babies.
Man, no, for real.
After they 3.
Right.
Okay, and so I know you was working like as a lash tech and like, or at, what's that word with the E?
The esthetician.
There you go. It's a little hard to say, but basically, even from the music, like you could tell you always been a hustler.
Yeah.
And it's like I even seen you post like, y'all better book with me now while I'm even still doing this. Are you still?
I am. I still am, and really a part of it is because that was like my original thing. Like I swore up and down, like I'm about to take this all the way. I'm got all these goals lined up that caters to me being a lash tech and an esthetician. Never in a million years did I think I was about to be rapping. Like this was not a part of the plan. Never even knew I could rap. I used to write poetry and stuff like that, but that was it. And I guess rap is poetry, so I just never tried it in that form. But this was very much unexpected. But lashing is where the money is, for real. It's kind of like selling drugs. Like you can't really get a drug dealer off the streets when it comes to rap. It's so they know for sure, like I can really do something with this. So you ain't about to get me out the trap. Not yet.
I feel that. And it's like you talk on Instagram a lot of your mom sending you pictures of like her dream home and stuff.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Is that motivation for you? Or is how you feel about that?
It be a slippery slope. Like sometimes it's motivation, and then sometimes it's like, dang, it's like
pressure.
Yeah, like the weight of the world. Like, I got so much weighing on me to be really like one of the youngest in my family, in my immediate family. I'm one of the youngest, and to have that type of stress on you is like, damn, I can't mess up. Like, I gotta do something. Like, it ain't no falling short. So it's a lot.
Okay. You went to Icewear Vezo's album release party.
I did. Shout out to Oba.
Okay, tell me about that experience and like, about Oba and like how you got there and everything.
I got in those doors on behalf of Oba Roland. Shout out to him because he has been like a very good support and just really like guiding me. Like he's kind of like been a mentor and everything to me. He invited me out that night, and when I got in there, it was a vibe. Like I've never been in a setting like that where it's a bunch of artists, and I'm gonna keep it a bean. Whatever you ask me, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Typically when you're around artists and you just a regular, like say for instance, we got backstage passes and we seen the artist, they're gonna look at you like you a regular, like you're nobody. Which I feel like shouldn't be the case, but most of the time that is. Well, that day they looked at me like I was just one of them. Like it wasn't no funny acting. It wasn't no we're better than the next person. No, because they all think they in a room with people that's on their level for the most part. Or either you're on their level or you doing something to get there or you just somewhere in that bracket. So everybody was cool. The vibe was great. And I don't like being in places with a whole lot of people. It was very much contained. So it was an experience, and I recommend for any artist to try to put themselves in rooms like that. It ain't about what you know; it's about who you know, and that is facts.
Yeah, I know you was in that space and you had to keep it together. But was it anybody who you met where it was like, damn, I really listen to they shit like all the time? Or
no, not at all. Okay. For one, I don't really get starstruck because I feel like everybody is human at the end of the day. And it's no shade to nobody. I don't feel like I'm better than anybody or anything like that. But I just never get starstruck. Yeah, starstruck. Like, especially when you really like get to know people, you kind of don't even look at them like that no more. As like stars. You look at them like regular people. So no, not as far as music. Now QC, like the man QC, he was there. So I was like, oh snap, like this is real. Like I'm really here with the person who like manages City Girls. Like he really do that. So that was more of like a OMG moment for me. But other than that, no, I just looked at everybody else like, all right, I'm about to be on y'all level in a minute. See y'all soon.
Yeah. All right, tell me about meeting Days Low.
It was interesting. She's definitely a reflection of her music. Like I would say that, like if you think she is like, I wouldn't say like soft spoken, like real cool. She's very bubbly. So that was cool. That was very interesting. And then when it initially happened, granted, again, I don't get starstruck with anybody, but it's still a kind of like a surreal moment. Like I'm in a position that most people don't get in. Like most people don't have that opportunity to meet certain artists and stuff like that, or even work with them. So it was cool. Like I was rocking with it.
Okay. And then like my cousins.
Yes.
How did all that come together? How did that conversation start?
Honestly, I was just kind of there. But that was already an idea that Dage came up with. She wanted to do something with select people from her family and give people an opportunity. Basically, put your people on. That's how she was looking at it as. Like anybody who has the opportunity to put their family on, you're going to take that opportunity. Same thing I'm gonna do with mine when I get the chance. So that was really what she was going with it. And I just so happened to be brought in by Oba because Oba and Dage have been long time friends. They have music together, everything. So Oba and Tone
classics together.
Yeah, literally. Oba and Tone brought me in, and they was like, this Kay, she rap. Long story short, they ended up playing my music. They was rocking with it. I sold them off 2 songs, 1 unreleased, and I played Tia. And from then on, she was like, "Hey, go rap, hop in the studio." And then boom, that's when we came up with the verse for What They Didn't Tell You. And that was my time to shine. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm about to rap my bars. But it was
you was ready.
Yeah, like I came in. I'm always ready to write for one, but yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to eat, and I'm not about to leave no crumbs. And did that.
Do you ever like just take little moments to yourself to reflect on like everything you're doing in the day to day, or you just been really just going?
I just go, and honestly, it's kind of been coming back to bite me because a lot of things kind of like get out of my hands, and I get overwhelmed a lot because I just be moving and living in the moment. I don't really like sit and think like, dang, you really been growing and you really been moving fast, and a lot of people know your name in such a short period of time. Like, I don't take the time to really think about that. I haven't even soaked it all the way in yet. Like, I don't feel like, in my mind, I haven't gotten anywhere. Really, in my mind, I still feel like I have a ton of work to do. I feel like enough people don't know my name. So, no, not really. Life just be lifing.
Okay. And Do You Have a Wristband?
Yes.
I was with DODBH.
Shout out to him because he was the first and only producer. Well, not only producer, but he was the first producer to come to me and be like, let's do a project. So we're locked in for life. We was already locked in just because if I like your work ethic, I might be locked in with you and you don't even know just because I like what you're doing overall. But yeah, he came to me and he was like, let's do this. And yeah, so yeah, with DODBH, shout out to him. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you good. That's what I was wanting basically.
Okay.
Just tell me about
the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I will say he definitely pushed my limits in a good way. Like with his style of beats and his work ethic, like he was on me. Like, you done? You ready? What's up with them songs? You know, I'm gonna give you this date. You better have it done by this date. And that was definitely keeping me on my toes. Like he'd send me a beat and I'd be like, I don't know. Like when he sent me the beat to tee up, I promise you, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. You might have to send me something else. And then boom, came up with a song. So it was new to have to like kind of work with somebody I never worked with before and kind of learn what works for them and what's their style and how they move. But I enjoyed it. So I definitely do it again.
Okay. And what you been working on recently?
A lot. I actually have about 3 videos on ice right now. So people can definitely stay on the lookout for that tee up video. That'll probably be the first video that I drop, maybe. I'm working on a song right now that I kind of dropped a little snippet for called I Walk In, and that is produced by Renni. Shout out to him because he go crazy on the beats as well. He's another one that reached out to me and was like, let's work. And I walked in the studio and you know what's crazy? For the first time, I walked into the studio and I didn't have what I wrote on that song pre-written. It wasn't written beforehand. I didn't hear the beat until I got to the studio that day. That was my first time ever doing that. And the song is fire. So I got about 12 to 15 songs just sitting, waiting to be put out. But I'm only gonna probably put out like one at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
How often you been like in the studio?
Honestly, I could probably say I'd be in the studio maybe 2 or 3 times a month.
Mm-hmm.
Most people probably be like, I'm in there every day. But that's not how I work, really. Like, I'm one of those people where I have certain vibes that work for me. Like, I write my best songs in the car or like just driving to go get some food. So I'll stack up on 12 songs before I even go to the studio because I go in with a plan. Like, I come to work, I don't come to play. So yeah, when I go into that studio, I'm at least knocking down 4 songs, 4 to 5 songs, if I'm literally strict on my time and I'm being serious.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I seen you, looking for the home studio. That's
Mm-hmm.
something you trying to do to maybe work a little more, or you just wanted to be available whenever you thinking of something.
I just want it really to be available. I don't mind really developing the craft of like being my own engineer because who doesn't want that? But I do still like having the people who've been around that's been helping me. Like I need their ear, I need their help. But to be able to have your own room of creativity and just be able to get up, like what if I want to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and put something down? I want to be able to do that. So that's really what it's for, just accessibility.
Hmm. Okay. Well, anything you want to leave with the people before we get out of here?
Um, Stay tuned for what's to come, and I don't know. I think I got like a little message. I guess. I guess I drop like some advice. Don't stop. Like whatever you do, don't stop. Like life will throw so many curveballs to make you slow up, rethink what you're doing. Like you might feel like I don't have enough resources. If you come up with an idea, you have exactly what you need. You just got to figure out how to use it. Right? You got a phone and a cinematic feature. Make it happen. Flat out. And don't let nobody stop you. Yeah, that's it.
But y'all heard it here first, man. If you still watching this long, we appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe, check out all her links in the description. We'll catch y'all next time.
Peace. Big woo